Like many of you, if you go and see your doctor, you're told that there's not much you can do other than to take specific pharmaceutical medications. For me, that meant that I was on lorazepam, Xanax, Symbicort, albuterol inhalers. I was on steroids to topically manage my eczema. I was also on Vyvanse and Adderall to manage my ADHD. Unfortunately, none of these things really gave me the relief I was looking for and really just palliated and managed symptoms. It wasn't until I was in my sophomore year of college that I started to take a more holistic and integrative approach to my health, and more of that was because I was a student athlete at the time. I swam at the University of California, Santa Barbara, and I was looking at how I could make a foundational shift to improve the overall quality of my performance, my ability to recover as an athlete. So I really started to look into food, and this message is food is medicine, since food being so foundational to our ability to perform day in and day out as an athlete. So I first started by reading the China study, and it really shifted my perspective around nutrition. At the time, I was eating a rather standard American diet. I was eating what most people would eat here in the United States, and that was a lot of convenience. I didn't eat many vegetables. I didn't eat a lot of colors of the rainbow because vegetables didn't taste good for me. So when I first read the China study, it really changed my perspective that maybe there's more of this foundation to health around a plant-based diet. And I made the transition over 6 months to change from a standard American diet to a more wholesome, nutrient-dense diet, and it was more vegetarian. I cut out meat. Over time, though, I ended up going vegan, and for a matter of 18 months, completely avoided animal-based products and really just tried to focus on eating whole, unadulterated, real food, or otherwise a whole food, plant-based diet. I knew the importance of supplementing with certain vitamins and minerals that may be harder to come by on a vegan diet, and some of those things were vitamin D, magnesium, zinc, and I was doing everything I could to optimize food synergy and nutrition out of these foods. Ultimately, though, my body failed me. I was getting sick chronically, and I couldn't seem to catch a break. I was chronically overtrained and fatigued, and it was showing in my workouts, and I wasn't able to perform on a daily basis. I had poor sleep, I had a lot of gut-based issues, I was getting reoccurrent canker sores. So ultimately, I went and started to work with a naturopathic doctor, and it really opened my eyes to this more systems-based approach to medicine, one that integrates all forms of medicine and really is an individualized approach to medicine that really takes into account you as an individual and what is best for you. And so I slowly but gradually incorporated animal products back into my diet and focusing my diet on a nutrient-dense whole foods approach, and felt significantly better. And so throughout this journey for me, especially around nutrition, I've really come to understand the importance of biochemical individuality. And just because one thing works for one person doesn't mean it's gonna work for you. And so on this journey, I really believe that the foundations for all human diets should be centered around whole, real food. So nourishing food, food that you'd find from the land and was handcrafted from Mother Nature and moves away from a lot of these hyper-palatable processed foods. I found a lot of healing in food, and that's why I really believe in the message is food is medicine, and it's what really inspired me to start my food account, Functional Foods, and it was started when I was on my journey as a vegan foodie for 18 months. But ultimately, it's really come to this platform to empower other people with the knowledge necessary to live a healthy, sustainable, and vibrant lifestyle. And the reason why I believe food is so instrumental and foundational is because it helped me a lot in my healing journey. I didn't know at the time that I was basically in this chronic perpetual brain fog. And so it just felt like I was thinking through tar, like it was like slow-mo, and it was that processing delay that I was talking about. And it was really what it was this inflammatory food consumption that was resulting in gut inflammation, which was then relaying from my gut to my brain as brain inflammation and manifesting as anxiety, fatigue, and ADHD. And so for me, it was really removing a lot of these offending foods after working with a naturopathic doctor, doing food sensitivity tests, and working on an elimination diet under the guidance of a medical provider, finding out which foods were not compatible with me. Dairy was another one, and dairy was a big culprit in my acne growing up. that seemed to never go away. And I tried Accutane, I tried steroids, I tried antibiotics. I did all the things that my dermatologist had me do. It was really, that's what kind of just was that jump start for me that made me eager to learn more, and ultimately allowed me to get off of my medications for ADD, which was Vyvanse and Adderall, which, you know, I took 70 milligrams of Vyvanse and 20 milligrams of Adderall almost every day to feel normal and human, and I didn't like the way it made me feel. It made me feel very anxious, even more anxious sometimes, jittery and restless, and it was like borrowed energy, and it really interfered with my ability to sleep. And I knew that long term that it was not going to be a sustainable approach for me, but as an undergrad student, I was just trying to get through college. At the time, I didn't know how to cook, so I taught myself to cook, and it's been one of the biggest life tools I have carried away with me from my undergrad, is that when we can get back in the kitchen and cook for ourselves, and we have the quality of what's going in our food, it can make a profound impact in our quality of life. So that's where I started to first find healing, and I really believe, like I said in that message, is food is medicine, but food is not the end-all be-all, unfortunately. It's also about the community that you foster. It's about having a sense of purpose. When you really take an integrative approach and understand that your body is responding to the external environment based on your internal terrain, things really start to shift. And so when you really start to look for some of these root cause approaches, which is what we explore in naturopathic medicine as well as functional medicine, you're able to really identify what are those offending factors that are perturbing normal physiological function, and then by removing those factors and giving the body the necessary nutrients and factors that it needs, it's able to naturally get back to the state of equilibrium. And that's based on this inherent self-wisdom that the body has, that if you give it those tools that it needs, the body can heal. The body has all these tools to heal if we just give it what it needs. But a lot of times we're not asking the right questions. We're not going deep enough with asking those questions. And so for many of us, it starts with getting back to the basics. It starts with the foundations, and that means prioritizing sleep. It means managing that stress. It means moving your body, eating whole, unadulterated, real foods, finding that sense of purpose and community, because we know that those are all pillars for wellness. My message to you is to never give up hope and to keep searching for answers. And I'm gonna do more detailed videos on each of my specific health issues and the approaches that I took from my systems-based approach, because it wasn't just all food, but food was one of the biggest driving factors overall in helping me achieve remission with a lot of these things. My goal with this platform is to inspire and instill change so that we can change the way we practice medicine and we view health, and move away from the sick care model, and that we can really impact the quality of life for people that are looking for root cause solutions.